Hey everybody, Ben here. It's Sunday morning. We're about to leave to Too Many Games. I'm in the passenger seat. I don't have to drive today, so I can sit around and play Mario Golf while my buddy drives. In the back of the car, we've got, you can't see it here, it's all in the trunk. We loaded up with tons of doubles and extras. A lot of that sealed stuff I got in the previous video. A lot of the PlayStation 1 stuff I got a little while ago, but like really things for all systems and consoles. So anyway, hoping to have a really productive day today. I already have a couple like trades arranged, so that'll be really cool. We're gonna bring some neat stuff home. This might be a crazy video. I don't really know what's gonna happen. I've never really vlogged anything like this before, so we'll see. I'm gonna try and get a lot of footage from the actual swap meet and stuff, so you can see what it's actually like. Anyway, if you're liking this stuff, please make sure to like the video. It really helps the channel be seen. Please leave a comment if you have any questions, and of course, subscribe to the channel. As of this morning, we were at 690 subscribers. Nice. And anyway, stay tuned and we'll see what's next. Here we are. The line to get in. The line for the line to get in. Jerome. John. Matt. We're in the parking lot of the hotel. I just picked up all this stuff.
The CDI. It seems to work.
Yeah, no CDI. A bunch of guides. Nintendo powers, which I have to give him trades for. Road Rash, some boxes.
Some low value ones,
but whatever, I like it. I'm good on it, yeah.
Alright.
And I'm trying to...
Okay, so 60.
Oh, and underneath this car here, where we find this stuff all the time, a boxed Master System with a bunch of games, some of the CDI games. We'll break it down later, but a ton of stuff. What we really need to get rid of for Jerome is this stuff that we're trying to get rid of for him, and my idiot friend won't take a deal, is a broken Sega CD that just needs a laser that'll work perfectly, and a nice boxed Model 2 Genesis. Doesn't have the means to play it. He needs to get this today. We'll see what happens later. I'll update you. Tons of things here. Already got some deals. Pretty amazing little swap here. Thanks to Bob for working out a nice trade with me for some PlayStation and Game Gear stuff. I traded him some of the sealed stuff you saw in a previous video. So thanks so much, I really appreciate it. And when we get back, I'll show you guys what I got, and I won't be such a mess.
Thanks, Ben.
Doing a deal here for $100 for a bunch of games. We'll start back in the room. If I can get in there. What's the name of your store?
Forgotten Christmas Classic Gaming. It's in Mechanicsville, New York.
Mechanicsville, New York. You gotta check them out.
Yes, it's been open since 2005.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so it's the next day. We're back in the game room, and I wanted to talk a little bit before we get into the pickups. Just tell you a little bit about the show, my experience, all that. Once we got in eventually, and it took a little while, we probably actually walked into the show floor around 12. The whole place was packed. They said they had something like 5 times as many people as they had for the previous swap, so something over 2,000 people. This was not a huge hotel. It was just like, it was a nice size hotel for a normal event, but for a con type thing, it was pretty modest, and I don't think they were expecting this many people. But once you got in, it was a super animated audience. I think everybody was honestly really just hyped to be doing something. I know that's how I felt, you know. I really wanted to go and do like a nerdy convention thing. It's been a while since I did it. And so it was a lot of fun just to be in that environment for the first time in like almost 2 years, really. So after the beginning, which was really crowded, you know, we took a look around real quick, but it was just too busy. So I ended up grabbing people that I was meeting up with in advance. So 3 people that we met up to do deals with. The first was a dude, John, who I think watches the channel, big 3DO guy. It wasn't actually my stuff that I was trading. I was trading my other friend Jared's stuff. He gave me a bunch of 3DO games, which I traded to John, who was also going to the show for his mostly GameCube stuff and an N64 game. And I just facilitated the whole trade for it and brought that stuff back. I'm not going to show it in this video because it's not my stuff, but I thought that was a little interesting. Another guy reached out to me on Instagram, and I like to think we're friends now. He's a real pal, Jerome. Shout out to Jerome. He is a local to, I guess, the Philadelphia area. He saw my post on Reddit that I posted on Reddit Game Collecting, where I said, hey, I'm going to this thing. I'm making trades. Is anybody interested? He reached out to me on Instagram, and we talked in advance. He was looking to part with a whole bunch of stuff that I'm going to show you. You saw a little preview of it in the previous clip. He gave me a hell of a deal. I'll break it down soon. And the last one I did was with another viewer, Bob. I'll break that one down too. Another nice guy reached out to me on Instagram, and we got that done. Made a couple deals in the room as things sort of calmed down. Went to lunch maybe 2-3 o'clock, and then we sort of said, well, let's go in after 3:30 as things sort of wrap up. It'll be a lot less crowded. Maybe people will be willing to deal with us, and they did. We were able to get a lot of deals late in the day at a good price. I'm going to break it all down. I'm going to give some shout outs to not only the people I trade with, but actually one vendor in particular who was super awesome to me. I gave him an opportunity for a clip in the previous thing, but it was all muffled up, so the noise was so loud in the room. So I'm going to do a special shout out there. I'm going to get things organized, and we'll be right back with more. All right, so I think the way we're going to do this is I'll start with the vendors and what I got from them first, and then I'll get into the trades, because I think the trades are maybe, and the viewer pickups, I think that's a little more interesting. So we'll start with one of my last deals of the day. It wasn't my last one, I don't think, but close to my last one. There was a guy, earlier in the day, I saw this copy of Simon's Quest in the box for $50. It's actually missing the manual. I'm pretty sure I have the manual already, so this would complete my copy. It's a little beat up, but I'm okay with that. It was at $50, and I was thinking about negotiating with him earlier in the day, but I was just like, I'm not that in love with the box. I'll just wait until something later or find a different copy. So late in the day, I visited him, and he was basically telling me, I'm looking to move this stuff, man. What can you do? I said, okay, great. Let's look at some of your other stuff. And I also saw this copy of Nanotech Warrior, which is a 3D shooter on the PS1. And finally, a loose cart copy of Axelay for the SNES, a shoot 'em up. He was asking on all of these $150. I got them for $110. I think a really good deal, especially because of the box Castlevania. We originally had just $55 on the PlayStation 1 game and the NES game, and then when I bundled the other thing together, I got an even better deal. So pretty happy with that. Axelay is going into the collection. I was wanting to get like a really nice SNES game for myself. Another deal I got, I'm a little less thrilled with this deal, but it's a Dreamcast game I didn't have. Sports Jam for the Dreamcast. I've heard this is pretty fun. And normally it does go for like $30. I got it for $20 because obviously the manual's a little ripped. I'm okay with it for now, but I'm going to see if I can hopefully find this manual because I hate the way the ripped cover looks. But whatever, that was pretty good anyway. Let's talk about the next deal. I'm going to take another quick break and then we'll talk about the next deal. All right, so for the next deal we got, this is really a series of deals. I actually did 3 different deals with this guy. He has a store in Mechanicsville, New York. The store is called Forgotten Freshness. He was down there, and he basically said to me, a lot of this stuff I'm trying to sell today are things that are more for convention people as opposed to in his store. I sort of understood what he said. I imagine people who go to his store are probably looking for like Mario and stuff like that. So he had a lot of sort of weirder, more obscure things, some of which I think are really cool, but I could also see why maybe in a store they don't move so well. He was the first guy I bought something with from the con, and that first stuff was, give me one sec. The first deal we made was these 4 games, which I paid, let's see, I paid $120 for. We got Little King's Story on the Wii, which is usually about a $25 game. This is one I've been looking for the collection. Blazing Dragons for the Sega Saturn. I actually have this loose, or I had this loose, oh wait, I still have it loose, but I was looking for a complete box copy, and this one is in really nice shape, and I can move the loose one and probably get my money back. This one was really underpriced, I think, just out of the gate, which was Golden Axe the Duel. He had $75 on it. I mean, it's really like maybe close to a $120 game. So that was there too. And then also Star Tropics with no manual. It's a little rough, but I was looking for, I do like this game a lot, and it was nice to get a box copy of it. All of that together was like $120, which I thought was a heck of a deal. The 2 Saturn games are probably in the, 160, 170-ish range. So getting a couple other games on top and only paying $120, I'm really happy with that for hard to find stuff at a convention. Later, he did say he was doing trades, so I actually brought in a few of the sealed Switch games that I brought with me, and I gave him 2 of those plus $50, and I got Splatterhouse 3, the case for it. There's no manual. He kept the cart. I really just wanted the case anyway, so we got that. It was an expensive case. The sealed games I really paid nothing for practically, so I was happy to sort of get a nice item for my collection. Let's see what we have here. Okay, so the last deal I made with him was right at the end. Again, he was like, "This is stuff I gotta move, man," and he just was trying to sell stuff. So I just sort of picked out random things. I got a loose Genesis game I've never heard of, Shadow Blasters. I'm not that familiar with it, but it's supposed to be pretty good, so I got that. This was the one I saw first, which was Dungeons and Dragons: Warriors of the Eternal Sun on Genesis. That one is complete in box. Outrunners, no manual on this, but I didn't have the game at all, so I'll definitely go for this one. Magical Quest starring Mickey Mouse is no manual. He's only asking $30 for the manual. I think that's really underpriced. But he was like telling me like he would do 20 for it when we're first starting. I'm like, okay, let's see what we can do on this. And then lastly, Bomberman with no manual on NES. All of these games, I sort of said, okay, well, what can you do on this? And he said, how about $100? And that blew my mind. I was like, yeah, sure, let's do $100, man. I mean, I don't know the total value in my head, but I knew it was at least 200, 250. All things I'm looking for. Even the Dungeons and Dragons or any kind of loose cards I can part with and recoup some of my money. So again, that was just a great deal. Really great guy to deal with. Super reasonable, very straight up, very direct. I don't live in Mechanicsville, New York. But if you are up there or you happen to go by there, check out Forgotten Freshness. I was looking at a store. I'll put some like pictures or links up or stuff like that. Really nice guy to deal with. It sounds like, I was looking at the Google reviews that customers feel that same way too going in the store. That's like a really good shopping experience, which honestly I appreciate. I think like one of the things I really don't like about GameStop is that GameStop is just a shitty shopping experience. And so it's nice dealing with nice people. I'm going to take another quick break and we're going to get into the next pickups. All right, so for the next thing, we're going to talk about the trade we made with Bob. He's a viewer of the channel. I think he's also made trades with other YouTubers. He reached out to me in advance, picked out some of the things he wanted that were sealed. I picked out some things he was showing me in pictures. I definitely originally had way more, I think, than he did. And I said, well, you need to get, when he met, he's like, well, it doesn't have to be too. He was being really nice to deal with. I could appreciate it. I'm like, well, we got to make sure we get you some good stuff. So I ended up trading. I didn't take a picture of it. I probably should have. I ended up trading 8 of the sealed games we picked up the other day. A few highlights. Dragon Ball Fusions on 3DS was one of them. Let's see. Detective Pikachu on 3DS was one of them. Sonic Rush on 3DS was one of them. And then some cheapies too. I think you got Final Fantasy 15 on Xbox One, which I have like 6 copies of or something like that, if you're interested. Just came up with a nice little stack. In exchange, we just got sort of mostly retro games that I could use for myself. A lot of Game Gear stuff in box. Lion King in box on Game Gear. Aladdin, which is in I don't even know if this is original shrink wrap, but that's fine. I don't really care. I'm not in it for the sealed stuff. Garfield Caught in the Act. Pac-Man on Game Gear. I'm going to show that towards the end because that's the more interesting stuff. Jungle Book on Game Gear, and Choplifter 3 on Game Gear, which I think I have just the loose cart for, so I'll trade that. The Choplifter's in great shape. A couple disc games. Sega Marine Fishing, I had this loose, I didn't have it complete, so we got that one. Crypt Killer, definitely one I was looking for. I think this is a light gun game, so I wanted to pick this one up. Definitely a good add to the collection. A couple PS2 games. Samurai Warriors 2 Empires. I didn't have this, so I wanted to pick it up. I couldn't believe I didn't have Kengo on the PS2. It's a fairly common game, inexpensive, but I was like, well, why not? If I don't have it, let's add it to the pile. And then the other 2 games, the ones that I'm happiest about, because I love long box PS1 games. Whoa, almost dropped it. Air Combat on PlayStation 1, the long box version. I love the Ace Combat series in general. I love long box games, so definitely one I want to add to the collection. And finally, Mortal Kombat 3, which was the first PlayStation 3 game I'd ever played. I played it at a friend's house when I was a kid, and I had never seen a PlayStation 3 before until he put in Mortal Kombat 3. And it was, I guess, a team. Oh, there's one more thing, a Game Boy Advance game he hooked me up with, Sega Arcade Gallery. This one's a little chewed up. I hope that wasn't my cats that did that. But that's cool. Wanted to get that one too. So thank you, Bob, for the awesome trade. Really appreciate you meeting me. You were really nice to deal with, and yeah, thank you very much. I think I need to take one more break before we get into the last big deal of the day, which is the stuff I bought from Jerome. All right, I lied. There was one more thing I purchased from a vendor. I just passed right over it. Me and a buddy, my friend Matt, you saw him briefly in the clip. He's the one who drove with me over there. He and I are the original game hunters. We did this back in high school. We would go to flea markets and pay 25 cents for NES games. So that was in the late 90s, to show you how old I am. Anyway, we found one dealer in there. He wanted a bunch of games. He ended up getting Castlevania Bloodlines, ActRaiser, and Phantasy Star 2. And we were trying to make a bundle so we can get a better deal. One thing I had my eye on was this. Phantasy Star. Shining Force 1 on the Genesis. I had Shining Force 2 in the box. I didn't have Shining Force 1 in the box. This is complete. The guy was only asking $85, which honestly is very underpriced. When we bundled all the stuff together, the guy took $25 off all our games. So really, I got this for about $75. Pretty good, considering the fact that I could probably just get rid of my existing cart and get most of my money back. Really good deal on that. And that was a purchase, I should point out. All right, so lastly, big shout out, biggest of all shout outs, because I think it was such a crazy deal, to Jerome. Reached out to me, had a whole bunch of stuff he was trying to basically downsize from, and he was just tossing out prices to me that were ridiculously cheap. He was making it very hard for me to say no to things, even things that I wasn't really looking for. But you know, I like getting these things, and I can find a use for it, or display it, or worst comes to worst, if I have to trade it someday, well, that's the way this stuff goes sometimes. First off, we made a trade. I gave him 2 of my Nintendo Powers that were extras. He gave me 3 of his that were extras. I don't know the values on these things. I think they're all pretty cheap. But we got some of the late issues. I need issues 282, 273, and 271. I believe this puts us about 12 issues or maybe 11 issues away from a complete set. I need issue number 2, the Castlevania 2 one. I need issue number 139, which is Banjo. And I need a number of the last issues of the run. We're getting very, very close on that. And I've basically been collecting them fairly organically. I'm pretty sure it was about $6 or maybe $7 for all these strategy guides. Again, he was looking to offload them. I like strategy guides, and I'm a fool, so I just keep buying things. Animal Crossing Wild World, DS, Super Paper Mario, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, which I don't even play. And this is the one I actually wanted the most, Wario World on GameCube. I just thought that's a cool guide. I think we paid like $6 or $7 for these. I don't remember the exact price, but he was like $1 or $2 each. He was just looking to get rid of them. Did I mention the TurboGrafx controller? He sold me a TurboGrafx controller here. $10 on this. I wasn't even sure if I wanted it. He was like, come on, man, $10. And I was like, well, I don't really need it, but $10, why shouldn't I take a TurboGrafx controller for $10? He also sold me 4 TurboGrafx games, fairly common ones, but they're in the cases for $5 each. World Class Baseball, TV Sports Football, Davis Cup Tennis, and the one game everybody has, Keith Courage and Alpha Zones. I know I have at least 1 or 2 of these. I didn't know which ones I had because I didn't put them in my app properly. So I couldn't pick out the ones I needed. I just bought them all, and I figured I'll trade the rest. So yeah, those were $20 for all those. So it's still an amazing deal. Next thing I'll show real quick. I paid $35 for this. The box is a little rough, but I didn't have the game at all. Hold on, let me put this flap in so it looks semi-decent. Is Road Rash 64 on N64. This is complete. Again, the box is a little smashed, but in a case protector it'll look nice. Paid $35 for that. That's probably about half of what a copy goes for. I mean, it's beat up, so I think you could probably discount it a little bit, but still, I was willing to do $35. The next item, we're still not at the best stuff yet, but all really cool stuff in my opinion, were a bunch of mostly boxes, but some one actual carton here too. Just boxes and manuals he's looking to get rid of that I could use. Pac-Man on NES, Jeopardy Deluxe on SNES, Madden on SNES. This one's in really nice shape, honestly. This one's almost perfect. Space Invaders on SNES, also a little beat up. Pac-Man 2, The New Adventures, which I don't think is a very good game. Monopoly on SNES. And this one was actually with the cart. Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego. I love the Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. Where in Time. I'm very nostalgic for that stuff. All of these boxes and the game here were $30 for all of them. And he even gave me a little plastic bin for them. So now I have another plastic bin, which honestly I could kind of use. So that was awesome. Next up, he sold me sort of a preview thing. He sold me a bunch of Sega Master System games. These were all $5 each. Complete in box, I think. Maybe some are missing manuals, I don't know, but that's fine. All games I either did not have or had loose. There might be one or two that I had loose here. Pro Wrestling. This one's just the cart, but that's fine. Again, $5 each. I'm definitely taking them. Enduro Racer. This one does have the manual on Master System. Master System I don't have a lot for, so this was kind of cool. Shooting Gallery. Hang On Safari Hunt. I know I have this loose already, so that's just a complete copy. Global Defense. Rocky. Like my cat. Monopoly. Another Monopoly. And Afterburner. I know I had this loose before. I paid $5 each for that, so $40 total for all the Master System games, which again is a heck of a deal. And he's being very generous with me, and so again, thank you so much. The next thing to show off, along with those box Master System games, is an actual boxed Sega Master System. I don't even know if I'm getting this in the frame. It's beat up a little bit, and it's missing a power cord. Not a big deal. I can get a power cord for it. It does have the light gun. $100 I paid for this. I, again, was not planning on getting something like this, but $100 for another complete in box system that I didn't have. I just think it's really cool, and helps me build my collection. Now I just need to figure out where on the wall I can put it, because I don't really have any exact spaces. So that's going to be a challenge for me, and possibly my genius girlfriend who tolerates me and also helps me figure out where things need to go in a logical way, because I can't figure it out. The last item, and maybe the highlight of the entire entire trip, because it's so obscure and both obscure but also kind of not the best, is this. Ugh, it's so heavy. This is a Philips CDI. The Philips CDI is pretty much a failed system. That infamously Nintendo, you may have heard of the Nintendo PlayStation, that their original collaboration with Sony on a Super Nintendo with a disc drive in it. Instead, they went with a different design from Philips, the CDI. That's what this became. This didn't work out so well for Nintendo and Philips. There are some infamously horrible games on it, some horrible Zelda games, Hotel Mario, etc. I paid $60 for this Philips CDI, along with 3 games: Caesar's World of Boxing, Kether, which I'm not even familiar with, and one game everybody knows, which is Myst. The system does work. Jerome powered it on, showed a disc running in it. There's no controller for it, so I can't control anything on it right now. And it uses standard AV cables, so I can use any kind of AV I need. But $60 for something like this, it's incredibly inexpensive. The system sucks. I want to be very clear. CDIs are bad video game systems. I do not recommend doing it. As a collector, I think it's neat and obscure and fun to have. But this system is a hulking beast, and there's not a lot of merit in it as a system. It's more of a discussion piece, a collector's item, than a gaming thing. And generally, I like to do things I want to get things I want to play. But now I'm on the lookout for a CDI controller and games if I can find them. But as always, I'm looking for this stuff cheap. I'm not really willing to invest a lot in a Philips CDI. I just think it's not worth it to me. Anyway, that's it for the pickups. It was a super productive show. I would have certainly loved to have traded more of the stuff. I brought back, obviously, a ton of inventory that I brought doubles. I think I must have brought 1,000 games in the trunk of that car for all sorts of systems. So I still have a whole bunch left. If you're interested in doing a trade with me, you can hit me up on Instagram. Description, all the details are in the comments. I've got my eBay store up there. That's not everything I have. That's some of the stuff I've got. I'm in Baltimore, Maryland, so if you want to meet me locally, that's where we make a trade. But I do trades all over the country too, via the internet and the United States Postal Service. So you can hit me up there. Another video is going to be coming really soon. I actually have more pickups to show. I went to yard sales last weekend and I made some more trades this a few days ago. But this is enough for one video, so we're just going to stick with the too many games recap. That's it. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this video. There's a lot of work to get this together. The likes really help the video get seen by other people, so the channel gets grows. There was actually someone at the con. I'm sorry I forget his name. I feel really bad about it. It was so loud I couldn't hear it very clearly. But somebody actually recognized me at the con who I have never met before, or I had no contact with in advance. They said they liked my videos. It was such a pleasure to have anybody at all recognize what I do and appreciate it. It makes the whole thing worth it, to be 100% straight with you. That's how I feel about it. Make sure to leave a comment. Let me know if you have any questions. Of course, subscribe to the channel. We're a little under 700 subscribers right now. We're trying to get to 1,000. We'll get there real soon. I'm really thankful for everything you guys do to support the channel. It really makes me feel good inside. That's it. Be safe. Keep game hunting out there, and I'll see y'all next time.